Dire team ban.
Grimstroke.
Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban.
That we have it, folks. Draft already underway. It's time for game number 1 of Black and Yellow versus Cut. Gentlemen, what do we take away from the pre-match video and mentalities from each watch? You hear Scourge McDuck, they recognize they're the underdog. They recognize they're repeating themselves in the same way even on how they approach each of the games, but they say that Black and Yellow are beatable. And then on the Zero side, you know, they want to kind of break the image that this is just a pub stack, that they're actually a team that is trying to go to that next level. Jenkins, I start with you. You know, based on mentality, who do you think has got the upper?
Well, first off, I want to say I agree with SMD in this take that they, you know, it's funny they say this thing about they have this mentality coming into these games. They talk about it in the interviews. It's always the same. They watch the VOD, they recognize, and I think not even so much that they aren't practicing and all of this stuff, because of course sometimes you can't, like life happens, and that's okay. But I think the ruthless nature that they should have, the fake it till you make it that they should have, should be their draft. I believe their drafts have been very normal. They haven't been like, we are good players. You are playing our meta. You are playing against heroes that we're so good at. You have to figure out how to beat it. And I think that's just a good way to play right now. There's a lot that's viable. I think the last 2 major patches in Dota, it hasn't been like some of the worst patches we've had in the past where there's like a top 10 or top 20 heroes that are good and everything else sucks. Tons of things are viable, and it feels like the Cut play really generic stuff, and we've seen that they are good enough to not have to do that. So that's a really important takeaway from that for me, and I'm glad to see that SMD is recognizing that. He's saying, we're picking something different, because this team is good enough. Even if they don't practice, individually they're good enough, and their hero pools are interesting and cheesy enough that they can do it. And even Zero says, we gotta look out. They like to cheese. They can cheese. So if they actually pick it, then maybe they can pull off a win.
What you were hoping for Zoomers, son. Calling the 4 Zoomers. I want to see normal stuff from them. Jenkins over saying, that's what Cut do really well. I want the Cut to pick stuff that they're really good with. That's what we see from 4 Zoomers. So it's almost like they have separate identities here.
If something's not working, do something to fix it. Do something different. Maybe different is vanilla. You're constantly having this rainbow bullshit that you're, whatever ice cream that's called, I can't remember the name right now.
Napoleon, sir.
Napoleon Dynamite ice cream.
5 seconds
remaining. Switch it up. Get some vanilla in your life. Just try it out. See how it works. I mean, for like 4 Zoomers, it's different because they should have confidence, right? They're this up and coming. They're supposed to be able to take. These guys, they're trying to be that nobody's expecting anything. They have 0 expectations from the outside and apparently from within either, which is the biggest issue, right? You have to have confidence. So glad to see a bounty hunter.
I like this.
That's switching it up a bit. You got the double track action going on. Not a hero we ever get to see, but of course the good one. Although there is an LC count.
Had already a draft underway here. Got through the parts. You know, some interesting things to know. Look at Black and Yellow. They banned the Bristleback first, so Bristleback is starting to look like new big bad B word because Broodmother is again not existing. So it's funny how fast the page may have turned on that one. They're just like, okay, Broodmother, thank you 4 Zoomers for putting that one to bed. Move on now.
Dire team.
Let's put it on the table and.
Huh. Okay, so now this BNY draft gets kind of confusing because who's the 4 position? Who's the mid? We have a Void Spirit here. We have a Nyx Assassin. We have a Tiny. Is this Tiny mid? Position 5 Jubei on the Void Spirit, and then a 4 Nyx.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean this is a weird draft on both sides. I mean, I love this. This is the good stuff where it's like, if you have 2 teams one team's practicing way more than the other. Not even, well, let's say just outside of these two. Hypothetically, one team's practicing more than the other. If you're picking crazy shit, the practice means nothing. Absolutely nothing, right? It's literally just a battle of like who can exist and own the most within this chaos, which often will be envy, so that's always rough. But still, better than having like an 80-20
Dire
type
team
of pick.
ban.
Gentlemen, I hate to bring this is a good pick. There's 4 melee heroes, black and yellow. This is techies. Like, do you play techies on the cut? I don't pick something. Troll is good, like I said. Mars is good.
10
Punish
seconds
4 melee.
remaining.
I mean, one of them is obviously boisterous. He's mobile, but what
5
else is there?
seconds
There
remaining.
could have been Ursa, but Troll's obviously going to be.
Radiant
Timbersaw's
team
banned.
ban.
Who do I not want to play as melee? A lot of heroes. Venomancer is extremely annoying. Like, there's so many heroes that punish this draft.
Die. Drop down eggs, relays tap.
Ten
Recognize
seconds
that draft
remaining.
weakness. Essentially be
5 seconds remaining.
welcoming their as they dusting off whatever feels appropriate to counter and play.
Dire team ban.
That's not so bad. It's more of like a long team fight over time sort of guy. It's not like immediately punishing.
They had a lot of
Obviously,
magic damage. And Nyx owns.
I mean, you could still Warlock. Like, you have the Warlock Grimstroke double Fatal Bonds, and then you do some crazy, like, BH or
10
Troll mid.
seconds
I mean, Little
remaining.
Nick Troll mid, this is a hero that he frequently plays mid. And we could
5
see, like, some
seconds
Scourge
remaining.
McDuck flying on Bounty Hunter carry. Once again, you have
Radiant
Zero saying, like,
team
we
back.
know SMD does these cheese picks, so who's to say he's not going to be the guy playing the BH and we see a Troll mid on Little Nick? It's possible.
That is definitely. I mean, Medusa. I mean, they have 3 melee themselves, so. But yeah, you're right. We have no idea what position they're even drafting for. But
10
then again, on
seconds
Black and
remaining.
Yellow, it's a little bit of the same, like you were talking about. Legion's pretty much set as the
5
off lane.
seconds
Tiny can be
remaining.
positioned 1, 2, 4, but you're gonna be probably
Dire
stuck
team
if it's a
pick.
support with double melee, which dual support melee that never feels. Axe, it's really good against melee. He is yet to be. That could be a mid hero. Cut wants to do a Scourge McDuck position 1 with. I don't know if Mr.
10
play
seconds remaining.
that hero mid at all. Nick. Seen
mid.
5
Axe
seconds
mid for Nick?
remaining.
Not for Nick, but I have seen people playing the Axe mid. Feel pretty good.
Radiant team
See.
pick. Puck.
Okay, well that. I mean,
Puck is
that's a
in the
melee. Yeah, that's a melee counter. That's classic. It's funny we forgot about that, but it does seem to be falling off. Griffin, especially against the Nyx Assassin, you would think probably wouldn't get picked up, but I guess it's too juicy with all the melees.
10
But then again,
seconds
also
remaining.
you have this Void Spirit who can Yules you and then catch you immediately,
5
and the
seconds
Legion who has this
remaining.
BKB thing now where you can break the coil. I actually think the Puck's not a good pick here. I think they kind of they maybe should have held their reserve time and thought about that pick a little bit more.
I
You know,
mean,
it's still a good hero.
it's still press the attack 1 hero.
Faceless Void.
Choose
Five.
your hero.
That big of a, unless you're getting
Void.
1-man foils consistent.
Yeah. Grass knuckle. Impressions on. Got this.
I'm still gonna go with the cut. Actually, I think that the black and yellow lineup is kind of hard to play in the lanes. I think the hold on.
Yeah, I think it's the cut. 5 melee heroes. This would have been a great techies game. We literally can't win, but they have really no damage in the Chrono. Nobody, they're all melee. They can't do anything in the Chrono anyway. Jesus,
True,
the cut.
true.
The cut lose this, I'll be heartbroken.
Let's see if it gets done. The panel pretty favored for the cut on this. We go to a break. When we come back, though, a special treat as we have the return of Gods and Alliance. New coach.
Prepare for battle.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back to the NADPC. Joining me is Alliance's latest new coach, PPD, also commentator here at the North American DPC. Peter, looking at this series, this game, what do you make of what you're seeing? First impression.
First impressions? Oh, well, I was initially favoring Black and Yellow. I actually like their team quite a lot right now. I think Envy's done a lot of good with their team, but that was until I saw the draft. Yeah, this game, their draft is just looking a little sus, I'd say. They have 5 melee heroes into Grimstroke Mars, which were the first 2 heroes picked by Dire. I was favoring Black and Yellow, but I think this series could be a bit even, and I think we might have a great game because of maybe a Dire favorite draft at the moment.
That's a good thing to hear, because we
30
have had a lot
seconds
of
to
one-sided games here, unfortunately, but we are heading towards that week 5, week 6, where I think things will start to get a bit more tightly contested. You mentioned Envy and what he's brought. What specifically do you think, Envy's brought that has kind of improved this Black and Yellow team?
I think every team needs some, they need some lifeblood on the team, right? They need somebody that's going to, pick them up after a bad scrim and, say, hey, I want to win the next game. And I think Envy kind of brings that I want to win every game kind of attitude to a team, which sometimes is missing, believe it or not.
That drive, and we're going to see if the cut has that drive to get a first one. Here they go, and Yamson big in, not going to get the... Whoa, does get the last rank click. Picks up the kill on the Grimstroke. Yamson going down early on.
Huge. Yeah, 3 bounty runes for Radiant, but they got the first blood. It went to the mid hero, which... Oh, no, sorry.
It went to the Grim.
Okay, yeah. So in the old patch, the mid hero, was always best at the mid, but now it's better if the side lanes get it, I think. Because,
why is that?
Because the mid lane is just more generous to both sides. It's harder to build an advantage on mid lane rather than on a side lane.
Is that just with all the runes?
Yeah, exactly. Like all rushes and runes everywhere.
Yep. Well, we'll see Little Nick playing the puck against Tiny Mid. Taking a look at some of these side lanes, it will be the Legion Nyx double melee. I mean, it's melees everywhere. We kind of mentioned that in Black and Yellow against a Troll Grim lane. I mean, playing with all these melee heroes, do you give the cut an edge in this lane stage then?
I definitely think they're favored in the top lane. This Troll Warlord has always been a strong laner, so I do think they're really well here. This bottom lane is, 4 melee, so there's that double melee advantage you'd think you'd have doesn't really exist.
Yeah, and Bounty one of those heroes that usually picked against these melees for the gold stealing, but if you play too aggressive, a Void gets some match on you. You gotta be a little bit careful, I think.
Yeah, well, you're much better as a bounty up against the ranged heroes because you can use your Shadow Walk and Orb of Venom to sort of like close the distance on them, and then you've got the the innate Stout Shield proc, whereas they don't. So he actually doesn't trade as well versus melee heroes. But if maybe got a courier there.
Yeah, I didn't have a ward or anything to realize it was coming up, so he's going to make a swing towards the mid lane. Perhaps try and secure a double water rune here. Little Nick can go for the top one, and it looks like that's the plan here. So get both water runes, deny Tiny of any bottle refill. Although Tiny is going to contest this top one, heading there, and will... Okay.
What? Okay.
He wanted to use some bottle charges for grabbing it,
Radiant's
so in the end it just
middle
gets
tower
denied
is
by the
under
bot.
attack.
All right. Well, lane was pushed. Bounty Hunter's going to get a little under-leveled from that, but Mars is getting some nice solo experience.
Does mean Jubei gets tries to get a little pull off there. Bounty comes in to mess, so no big camp.
One thing Radiant does have going for them is this mid-tiny. I think this hero is really strong in this patch, and he's playing up against Puck, Bounty Hunter, and Grimstroke, which I think are all pretty squishy targets. So once he gets his blink, he's probably going to start popping off. It could be a nice space creator.
Jubei getting gone on game, brought very low 30 hook with the over Venom slow, but Envy with some nice body block. Allows Jubei to get a salvo. Yeah, so far Tiny doing really well during majority of the last hits in the mid lane. So it does look like S will be a pretty good track to get a good time on his blink.
Yeah, we'll see. There might be a rotation from the Bounty Hunter when this Puck gets level 6. Something like that. Tiny is kind of a hard kill because he's so tanky or just has so much HP. But yeah, if they can slow his Blink Dagger down, that'll be super helpful for them. Because I think Dire has like better mid-game and team fight. So just like a last big boy, I don't think they have like a ton of chrono damage. So they're going to need to kind of go late game, I think, on Radiant.
What do you
know,
think
he's
is the
special of?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. That's envy. That's what he generally wants to do. But what do you think the idea was behind this last pick point? It does seem a bit of an odd pick, considering there isn't that much synergy with the rest of the team.
Yeah, not too sure. I think he just maybe saw his lane. Right? He knew he was up against Mars and thought he could, you know, get farm, which he is getting.
Yeah, so far not being too heavily contested. 16 last hits, pretty good. As we'll see the next runes come out, and this time Esk is going to camp the top one, guarantee himself a rune. Lil Nick going to grab the bottom rune, expected stuff. And here's, you know, Vol's poking around this mid lane, has gone for the early Shrook and no Janata this game, just trying to see what he can get here, but so far not feeling much impact out of this now.
Yeah, hard for him to do a lot bottom. If he was playing versus melees, he could have even gotten the Janata and just like fought hard down there with a lot of like HP regen. They're gonna try and make some stuff happen top though, so I'm glad he is getting active on the map doing something.
Could be a second kill here for Yep. They're gonna leave the score. It doesn't even come out of the invis.
No, just a invisible ink swell on top of you.
Yeah, I mean, really, like Inkswell could have just been on the troll. I'm not actually sure it was needed for that kill. Either way, job done, and they'll get the kill here as securing top lane. Going to do some stacks now. So yeah, Vol looking a little bit unsure of which lane he can help. There is a level 6 on the puck now in the mid lane, but Tiny about taking level 6 as well, and that means, you know, plus 12 armor. It feels like Tiny is so hard to gank because he just gets so damn tanky.
Real tanky. And Dire, what they can do is actually just try line this safe lane, and I'm not sure that Radiant has a great response to it outside of like a tiny rotation.
Yep. Seeing it here, they're not going to be able to get this kill without the troll rotating as well, but troll has got a slow here. Zero's holding on to the press the attack, he uses it now, so it'll be okay. And Vol's going to be a little bit careful. Yamson has an impale, so
Okay, 6-minute rune. Be very telling of the pace of this game. Who's going to get that? Little Nick's a little low on resources. He's got Bounty Hunter coming to check top, but so is maybe Nyx.
it's looking for a stack along the way, so see who's going to get which rune. Both players going down to this bottom one. Tiny has the Avalanche, so he's going to secure with that, but it's one stop. That means the Arcane will be grabbed by the Nyx.
What about the Bounty rune?
Oh, Lil Nick could be in some... Okay, no, he's fine. It's...
All right, and he's gonna get the bounty. Bounty Hunter didn't go for the other bounty, but they do a bottle refill on mid for GP port there. So
just mid lane stuff. And now Tiny's ready to go. Has the have a toss combo. Drop a sentry down mid. That doesn't look like it.
The double sentry mid. You come down here and you just put on both sides. Make sure you have mid control.
You a fan of this?
It's nice if you have the extra gold, for sure. But he's pretty poor on Void Spirit.
Radiant structures
Yeah,
are
100 gold, no
fortified.
boots. Just playing with the raindrops, Sage's Mask, going for all the mana regen. So see if S can make a play in the mid lane. They're kind of... Yeah, that's it. It looks like Puck is kind of baiting this, but he... Not sure what the plan is here. Lil Nick is basically out of mana. Has a Dream Coil, but it's going to be tough to turn because they're just not going to have the damage without a Shuriken, without a Illusionary Orb. So bit of a unfortunate DC, it looks like. And also bottom lane, there's a dive. Yeah, so Envy's being, well, not really a dive. Envy's just being speared, it looks like. But with a Mars Arena potential. Is this a spear into Arena? Is he looking to combo this?
No way. There's no way. There's no way.
Okay.
He's got 13 wand on Void. He's got strength treads. He's too tanky, I think. Hold on with the Maelstrom. Gonna arm it up.
Nothing
Anyways,
too crazy there.
Yeah, where were you? You took a vacation or what?
Me? I was in an Australia game. My visa renewed.
Oh, nice.
I'm back now.
Yeah. Approved back in the States.
Yes, back in the States. Day later, got my first jab, so I'm feeling good, feeling healthy.
Any jet lag?
Yeah, a little jet lag, but you know, nothing like some NA Dota to keep me awake, keep me going. It's kind of been getting me back on the schedule. How's the NA DPC casting been for you?
Well, many shellackings, as you know. We're no stranger to shellackings over here, but yeah, I casted. Who did I cast last week? I casted a 4 Zoomers game, I think, versus Quincy Crew, and it was supposed to be close, but it was just a complete massacre.
Oh, the Undying one. They just
Yeah, Undying for Zoomers.
There's the kill. They're going to drop the Dream Coil down mid, but I kind of mentioned this. There's no damage. Little Nick does have an illusionary orb now, so maybe he's going to get a kill on Dubé. Let's dissimulate to the side, but it looks like he's going to get out of there. And Esk kind of wants to turn back around. Doesn't have a toss spell, though. Alright, we'll be fine.
Alright, so they managed to defend their first catapult. What were you going to say?
I was just curious, what do you think's kind of, you know, is the team skill difference bigger this season? Like, why do you think the games have kind of felt a bit more one-sided? Patch? What do you make of it?
Oh, well, I think there was a lot of people who kind of just put teams together to play in the league this season. So I think you have less teams that are, you know, they have lower expectations on their standing in the league. And they're sort of just like relying on, hey, you know, we'll step it up for those TI quals. You got a couple of coasters, I think, and maybe a couple of unmotivated players on, you know, some of the teams that, you know, maybe wanted to do really well.
It's kind of like roster tryouts for TI calls, maybe. Like, I imagine some of those teams like Sad Boys, maybe we'll see some roster changes. Oh, right mid. Little Nick gets rotated on. Esk has the Avatar waiting for the tail. Oh, gets the toss. Actually dodges the toss, but yeah.
It matters not to me.
Close one.
On the way there because of that creep. Fortunate, but nice rotation. Envy getting active.
Yep, put out that first chrono, and now he's going to go to the jungle. Looks like he's going for the Battle Fury Void build, which is very envy of him. Very, very farm-heavy build here. Sometimes you see it. A lot of times you'll see Mask of Madness or Maelstrom. Battle Fury, I feel like it's more of it's even an even greedier item, right? It's more build-up.
Yeah, more expensive. I guess the build-up can be a little bit nicer in some ways with the regen you get from it. Sometimes if you need the regen, but...
Well, given a lot of space to Mars, who's now sort of a free lane here. Envy did a good job of, you know, first clearing the catapult before making that rotation. So his tower's not going to be too punished from him going mid lane for a bit.
I mean, do you like the Mars just kind of sitting down here and controlling this lane, or do you want to see him start looking to be more active with this arena flood?
Well, I think it's just hard for him to make a rotation. I mean, he could do like a smoke gank on mid, but it may or may not work out. Right? Like we said, like Tiny is almost 1400 HP. He's going to have almost a full wand plus a raindrop. The dire supports don't really bring that much damage yet. Like Bounty Hunter is sort of a melee creep still. So maybe around 10 minutes when their supports pick up their ultimates, Dire will look to be a little bit more active, get those second round of catapults in their favor, let those kills translate into down towers.
You mentioned the catapults a lot. Is the general game plan going to be to make these rotations and moves whenever those catapults are coming out then?
Yeah, it just makes those, well, I mean, you can make the rotations and moves anytime you want, but sometimes it might just lead to a kill and that's it. Or maybe a kill and a couple hundred tower damage between you and the creeps. But the catapult really, it makes the enemy team come to that lane, because if they don't, the tower will die.
Alrighty, well, we're back. Envy comes back into the game, and we'll see Puck respawning soon. And, you know, level 7, so both Puck and Mars have ultimates online. Could be looking to connect and make some active moves. Little Nick is not going to TP out, he's going to make the walk to mid lane, so holding that TP scroll for the side lanes.
Tiny's making his first move to a side lane, going top. I like this. It's really nice if you can put pressure on the carry, make them scared. And
they made sure it's pretty much de-warded. They had double sentries in this top lane, so Esk is probably thinking like, okay, they don't know I'm top right now.
Oh, but Dire wants to fight it, which I think is the right response. And Little Puck does have a TP ready for top if fight does happen.
And Bounty a good hero to TP in first, because he's able to scout out what's going on with the Shadow Walk, see Esk in the neighborhood. So now they have a pretty good idea of what's happening here. And Esk is going to go in. They're going to maybe look to turn this one around. The cut. They're going to make those TP rotations. You betcha. Puck going to be TPing in with the Grimstroke here, and they immediately look to hightail it out again. Black and Yellow getting gone on. Nice carapace. Going to stop the Puck initially. The two-man Dream Coil going to catch both supports. So you take out both the Legion. Goes down S as the Knicks, and Esk at this point out of it.
Yeah, Bounty Hunter kind of sniffed that gank out. It was a nice play by him. Sort of realizing, hey, where's Tiny? Well, I'm gonna go find him. It's kind of a good job for him in this early mid game.
Still have Envy farming the mid lane, not looking to at least get involved early on when Chrono's on cooldown. Yeah, now he's got a little window with no Dream Coil to worry about.
Yeah, that was good. He was jungling / playing mid, let Void Spirit get this bottom lane, so Juve's almost got his level 6 now, so he he doesn't need to take the tome. He can give that to Nyx, who would have been level 5 if that top gank was a little more successful, but he's going to be back in the game with that. And Mars, Mars has been free farming for a long time, and he's level 8, which is probably highest level in the game. Yeah, he's up there with the mids. They're going to try and kill him bottom. Chrono's up in 10 seconds.
Yeah, getting gone on here, and Envy going to commit him with the Time Walk here. What's the play for Tingle King? Are they going to chase it? Doesn't look like it. They had the Chrono maybe 3 seconds earlier. They perhaps would have thrown it out.
It looks like Dire is going to... Oh, big ass.
Mid. Top, sorry. It's an easy kill onto Legion, so...
Okay, there's the wagon. Yeah, I would love for Mars to sort of stick around top and help troll pressure this top tower. A smoke and maybe go mid, but their catapult did die there, but with 4 heroes, I feel like they could still take the tower down.
So far, the Cut just making more aggressive and more successful moves. They're going to come in now mid lane. They get the Carapace on the Dream Coil break. Nyx should still be going down. It's bursted in. See if they can get any damage in on this tower. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Envy does have a catapult of his own, so this bottom tier 1 is going to take a significant amount of damage if they're not careful.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
They're okay for now, and nice. You see the kill into the tower, but how much damage are they really going to get? Are they going to be able to stop this Legion from defending it? It looks like they're not. They find Juve on the bottom, though.
Juve caught out, gets brought down, not quite level 6. I guess he was trying to just reach a little bit of XP to get there, so... Let the track kills begin. Dire doesn't necessarily have to push towers if they can just keep farming heroes at this point.
Radiant structures are fortified.
And looking to make the move towards bottom lane. There is a glyph coming out, it looks like, just to keep some creeps alive, perhaps. On the Radiant side, get a bit more tower damage in. That bottom tier 1 getting low, but not brought down. Envy looking like he's going to have a very good timing on his Battle Fury.
Yep, and Soul will... Oh no, but it's not a Battle Fury versus Battle Fury game. Soul's going with the Maelstrom.
What's up?
Bit of a, could have some uncontrollable lightning, catch him with the Spike Carapace, so gotta watch out for that.
Around to mid lane. Bounty versus Nyx, the 2 Invis 4s, just trying to get all that scouting info. Sentry on Sentry battles, drops a ward.
Oh no.
Yep, right in front of the Ob Sentry combo. It does feel like Black and Yellow have kind of struggled to make successful moves. Like the Tinies spent a lot of time rotating top and between the Cut who were getting the better trades.
Yeah, he does have his Blink Dagger now though. And I don't fault him for getting active. I do think that was just a really nice play from the Bounty Hunter to, kind of smell that gank out. It's not like the Tiny died, he just kind of he just lost his offlaners. And they're trying to fight top. Everybody's up here. Okay, Mars.
Deja vu from earlier, but this time Black and Yellow bringing numbers from Chrono. They're getting into that Chrono. Actually, the controllers will can they stop getting the ultimate off. Doesn't look like they're the kill. Now they get 3-man Dream Core. Nice waiting rift. Silence onto 3 as well. It's quick cut for the front line. Now as Nyx will back him up with a perfect Mars to 3. Absolutely annihilate Black and Yellow here. They've already taken out 1. X has no way to blink himself out of this one. Like, this is going to be picked off now. And a team wipe for the Cut.
Very, very nice. Huge plays from Dire. Troll Warlord is kind of just alphaing this top lane, just staying here no matter what, and his teammate, and I think it's the right call, right? Like, he had won his lane pretty handedly, and instead of abandoning his lane, his teammates come to him and they make plays around him, and he's used Troll Ult twice very effectively, which is pretty hard to do with early levels of early in the game. The Troll Ult doesn't really seem that useful, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's good, but it's hard to have a good one, I think.
Black and Yellow are going to have to rethink their approach. You kind of mentioned early on, it feels like, the Void pick is maybe all about going for the late game, but...
This is it. All in. They're smoke back top. They're going to do the same thing. If this doesn't work. Broke.
Feels like the 3rd or 4th try on this top lane onto the Troll, as well as this T1 tower, which they just cannot bring down. Scorch Quick not going for the TP out, but he gets caught just in time.
Is under attack.
Have the battle transfer another 15 seconds or so. And yeah, they're just going to let him die. They thought about keeping him, but I think they realized we should just cut our losses.
Radiant's middle
little
tower
careful.
is under attack.
Better go back up then. Call for the cut is to try and take this tier 1 mid tower.
Dire's top tower.
Yeah, no
is under
chrono, so
attack.
really hard for Envy to stop anybody.
Dire's top tower.
This tower looks like they had a 2-man soulbind into the Mars arena. This here they can take not the 4 tier fast. Of course, Envy though still gets bursted in silence. So a tower and 2 kills.
This is, I mean, you're seeing Puck has, lost a bit of favor. I think the hero
Radiant's bottom
is,
tower
people are
is under
starting to
attack.
figure this hero out a bit, but it was 9th picked in this game, right? The last pick for the cut. And you can still see how strong it
Radiant's
is. Like
middle
this
tower
coil,
is under attack.
especially like Void just has no answer for the coil, right? Coil is up, Void kind of needs to be hiding. I think every coil Void has died in.
Radiant's bottom
And-
tower is under attack.
Partially because of Dire's team fight, right? Like these coils, these Mars arenas, there's actually follow-up at this point. And both Mars and Puck are having a great game, and so is Troll. I mean, I see 3-1 lanes for Dire right now.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
See what the
Radiant's
response from
bottom
Raid's going to
tower
be,
is
but it
under
feels like
attack.
it's going to be let's try and get Envy to the late game with a lot of farm, while maybe the other 4 heroes create space. They have got Chrono back up though, so
They should know that Envy ported down here, though. This gives them a lot of freedom to move to other parts of the map. Now that Radiant is sort of stuck in this bottom lane.
Under attack.
F-Zero in the jungle.
It's a track. There we go. Got the track.
Takes a while to bring down with the hood, but still nonetheless.
Radiant is in such a bad spot right now. They're completely squished into this bottom lane, and they aren't farming anything. So this net worth lead is... Dire does kind of back up and farm some heroes. Could be in big trouble.
Feels like a lot of the problems, the panel you saw with the black and yellow draft are really kind of being exposed here. Having all these melee heroes and a whole lot of synergy, and the cut are just making all these aggressive moves around the map.
Oh, Grimstroke's got the fluffy hat plus raindrop combo. This is your anti-tiny kit, as I like to call it. All it is against Tiny is survive the combo, get your spells off. He doesn't really have a lot of... He uses all of his gas at once, right? Tank gets empty really quick on Tiny, and then if he doesn't kill you, and you get your spells on him, then all of a sudden he's in big trouble. And he's nowhere near a BKB, so he is going to die if you get some spells on him.
Still a little bit of ways from that Echo Saber, which will give him maybe enough damage to burn. Even then, it might not be enough with the raid drops.
Yeah, but look at Troll. I mean, he's got this Ogre Axe. He's almost got his Sage. He's got 1700 HP. Got that 225 HP talent at 10. He's gonna be a hard kill.
A lot of raid. 3 of these Dire heroes still rock on the raid. How good this item is again.
Yeah, for sure. It'd be the difference maker, whether or not you live or die.
See the cut just, and you kind of mentioned it, they know Envy TP down here, so black and yellow kind of committed to this bottom lane, or at least Envy is committed to farming bottom or the bottom jungle, and unfortunately that's exactly where the cut are right now, so it does feel like a kind of awkward spot for black and yellow right now.
Not super ideal, right? It would be really nice if Radiant had like one hero top that could pressure this tier 2 tower, force Dire to show some of their heroes in the top lane, which would then create space for the rest of Radiant to kind of play around bottom or maybe retake their jungle. Because they've got nobody on the other side of the map, there's really nobody, there's no reason for Dire to even leave this area. So they're just going to slowly smush them. They might even dive them now that the Legion Commander's dead. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going to happen after this pause, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I mean,
could be a lot of death.
It doesn't look good for black and yellow. You've got a track on Jubei, so they've got, they know where he is. They know MVTP down here, so they have a pretty good idea. And Mars with a blink arena in 9 seconds when the arena comes. So I feel like, yeah, like you say, a lot of death, or at least a death or 2 is coming the way of black and yellow here.
Or you'll see Radiant just kind of like silently sneak out back to their base, right?
That's the hope.
I mean, it's a horrible situation that Radiant is in, but best case scenario, they sort of walk out to the left.
Is there any way they turn this? They've got the level 11 Tiny with a Blink Dagger. I guess they've got the anti-Tiny kill that you mentioned on the Grim. Like, I guess he just can't blow up these supports.
Well, they do have this nice high ground ward. They have the hill ward on Radiant, so if Dire, like if Grimstroke, I mean, they can see the Grimstroke now, so if Tiny finds an opening for the Grimstroke and there's some follow-up, It could work, but that's sort of the problem with Radiant's draft, is that there really isn't any follow-up for that tiny combo, nor is there any damage for the Chronosphere. And it kind of, you can see how they kind of work the same way, right? Like Tiny and Void want to go in and they want to have follow-up, but the problem is there's no follow-up. And this Void, it's a great hero, but when you're in games like this, you kind of need to be chrono and the damage, and that requires you to have 3 or 4 items usually, so it's just very slow.
Yeah, it does feel like they're going to have to do something kind of clutch or rely on maybe a misplay or something, or an overstep. The Carapace can cause that. I feel like if Puck gets caught in Carapace, and then maybe the Puck is a great target if you can catch him with that Carapace into tiny combo.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of ifs.
Puck is still killable, right? He doesn't have a raindrop, right? He doesn't have power treads. He's only got 1 null talisman. Witchblade, great item, but doesn't really make him tankier. Gives him some armor, right? But really, you want that raw HP up against Tiny to survive the magic damage burst. And we need Little Nick to reconnect.
The Cut looking for their first win, game win as well as series win. They're 0-10, unfortunately. So
0-10?
Yeah. And the panel was saying it doesn't feel like they played badly. They look like they don't necessarily... they look, for the most part, like they belong in this upper division. But yeah, they're yet to win a game.
I don't know if you can... how can you justify 0-10 and they belong in the division? I'm not... It doesn't sound right. I guess the argument is would either of those lower division teams, top 2, have won a game in that period of time? Who knows? May 11th, in about 5 days, we have Sad Boys versus The Cut. The battle of 08 versus 010. Although I do think this is probably going to be The Cut's first victory.
Yeah, at that point they're going to have at least a 1 in front of their name. Maybe even 2.
They're going to be riding that momentum, right? And this is, Sad Boys, they have to play Undying on the 9th, and that series is probably not going to go too well for them. Then they've got to play The Cut, so they'll be coming off that fresh, steamer of a loss, and I'm just going to be riding high with this victory over Eternal Envy here.
This could still, even if they win this game, it is a best of 3, so I think most people have Black and Yellow as favorites.
Or Little Nick doesn't reconnect, they forfeit this game and the series. That could be option 3, I suppose.
That's a bit demoralizing too, that option.
Man, are you ready to stand in? I'd play.
I don't think I'm up for it, Look, we've got some more capable Dota players, I think.
You're jet lagged, right?
Yeah, I'm jet lagged, exactly. Jet lagged, still I've got a sore arm after getting my vaccines. Not sure I can use a mouse right now.
Yeah, round 1 or round 2?
Just round 1.
Okay.
But what do you make of? You mentioned Sad Boys 08. That was obviously your old team. You guys had a kind of average season.
Please.
Why I think you got what? Mediocre season 1?
Last time I spoke about this current status of the Sad Boys, okay. I made the front page of Reddit, and it led to many people just calling me a washed up sore loser.
I missed that one. Sorry.
Yeah, you must have been on.
I won't ask you about that then.
Yes.
All right. Well, what do you make of? I guess you're coach of Alliance now. How are things going there?
Well, we just lost to Brame, which was, it was darkness, I would say. That's how I would describe the after feeling. But we've had a good season so far, so can't complain.
Have you been working with them for most of the season then?
Yeah, I joined up right after the Liquid series, so after their first week.
Okay, nice.
Oh yeah, I was still there. I didn't just join, and then we lost to Brame, and now it's holy shit, what's DPD doing to the team?
that would be a very bad
and the optics weren't. That was the case.
Yeah, I'm curious though, because we have. What do you make of these teams? In NA, I think you could use Quincy as an example, and with Europe, you had Alliance this major. These teams who do really well in the leagues in online play, who just don't perform well on LAN. Quincy, obviously at this major is a stand-in, but even historically, have sometimes done badly on LAN. What is it that kind of leads to some of those teams just not getting the same results when they play on LAN?
I think people just take their game to the next level at LAN. right? They put in the extra work, they prepare harder and smarter, and they put like that extra time in that some players just don't really have the experience, or they don't understand like what's necessary to win at that level. That would be my biggest guess. Also, like the new format with the majors, right? Everybody's like flying in like a day or two before their matches and then flying out immediately after. Like, takes some getting used to. Anyways, we're going 4v5, guys. This could be tough, but I think Bounty Hunter can probably play 2 heroes.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask. Someone's going to micro, right? Someone's going to blink dagger on the threat coming out. They're going to go in. Tiny gets the combo on, takes out the Grim. Grim, you're on hot duty now. Ube is in the middle of an arena here. They're going to take out Yamsen. On the Tiny gets foiled now, so Little Nick going in with the Arcane Rune. Being microed pretty well so far, but it's a backwards orb as the Nick spies back. Of course, the cut will retreat. Now that's the blink toss back. Gets scored with that. He gets the battle trance off though. He gets caught in the chronosphere. This is not good for him. And Mars blitzes the chrono as well. He's putting in the backline. He doesn't run empty. Control still alive. Unfortunately, brought down by a Legion, overwhelming odds, and now gets the dual light onto Ball on the bounty hunter. Little Nick still being microed here. Gets a nice orb out, but gets caught by a Carapace. This is still in trouble for the cut here. They finally perhaps overstay their welcome in this raging jungle. Black and Yellow using the perfect buyback on the Nyx assassin. They bring in numbers. Little Nick, retreat. His blink's in his backpack. Oh no! In his backpack. I want to say the whole fight as well.
Yeah, and I think the worst news is that whoever's controlling Puck, you know, I feel like they haven't really played that much Puck. So this looks like ultimate bad news for Dire right now.
Bottom tower
I mean, Grim was the first. Usually it's whoever dies first in the fight. So Grimstroke died, so I imagine maybe him.
The power board on the router. I think he's playing too much video games lately.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Well.
Yeah, my dad used to pull the router cord, and then I'd walk into his room and I'd be like, "Dad, can you know, when am I getting the power cord to the router back?" And it would just be silence, you know. And then eventually, after about 20 minutes of me standing there waiting for him to respond, he would say, "Peter, you just don't get it, do you?" Those were the days,
Radiant's
man. Those were the days.
tower has fallen.
Sure, a lot of us viewers.
I'm sure many can relate.
Yes, exactly. Arena mid, they're going in. They want to keep on fighting. You know, they know this Puck's DC'd, and their best chance is kind of one of their powers. Got double blink on Puck and Mars. Puck, can you not move an item from your backpack into your inventory when you're DC'd? That's what I felt like too.
Radiant's bottom tower
maybe
is
they
under
just
attack.
don't realize he finished his blink.
Radiant structures
Either way,
are fortified.
they're making it work. They killed 3 heroes.
Not notice.
Don't know.
Yeah. Man.
I like it. You know, they're just adding an
Dire's
extra. You know,
top
we're
tower
already
is
down
under
4v5.
attack.
Let's make it a little bit harder, even the blink dagger in the backpack. So.
Yeah, so Radiant's definitely not going to tap out early, right? Like, you can't lose 5v4, right? That's like ultimate shame.
Yeah, it's happened before in competitive
Radiant's
Dota,
bottom tower is under attack.
obviously not a good look, but I mean they're at a pretty heavy disadvantage.
They are ahead, but
Dire's top
and
tower
they're gonna keep on fighting. This is the deck cancel behind tower. He's gonna DD rune though, so he may look to turn and fight this one. It says it's gonna be Dube.
Another route. Another route. Yamsen's in.
Yep. Comes it. Get done here. On the right side, yeah, he's on his own here. Fortune is gonna run well away on him with the silence. He goes down. Rita catching out Zero on the backline. Scrawny here. Catches out the Reaper. Tinglekins, he's outside of it. Rita can actually throw him into it now. Envy gets himself a double kill. Nice play from the face of the charging forward. Perhaps look for more. There's an avalanche on the Tingle King now. And Envy getting another bash. He can actually be forced to back off. Tingle King has a blink dagger, but he doesn't get a chance to get out of there as S gets him with the toss. Looking for more Envy.
Get out of here. Oh,
Yep.
there's a troll.
Radiant's bottom
Battle
tower
trans, they
is
baited it
under
though. They're pulling him in. They're gonna have a toss. Can they get this kill? Looks like you short bet if they can. They go for more with Jube 3 1. Jube gonna get the group trip with a dual kill, so perfect turnaround from Black and Yellow. Unfortunately, the 4v5 disadvantage really feels like it's kicking in these fights.
Yeah, I feel like they're just dancing around these fights, waiting for like somebody to miss micro and just step for a second. They also didn't really play together too much as a team. You saw the troll was, fixated on this Nyx that was underneath the tier 2 tower, and the rest of the team was almost at the Radiant's tier 3 tower. They might get another pick here.
And when your opponents are dancing like that, Puck is the hero that you need to prevent them. The silences with the coil.
Yeah.
Find another pick. Esk is starting to take off on this tiny 5-1 and 6, having a great game as I think looking gonna go blinking forward, but pause. I believe their pause time has been used up.
I think that's illegal. Yep, drop the question mark.
Oh, okay. Apparently they can't get pucks blink.
Yep,
Well,
the Emson's right. I mean, according to the rulebook, they don't have pause time, so this is actually... I mean, they should lose, what, some drafting time next game? How's it work?
Look, man, I don't know. I'm not a rulebook here. I'm just a caster like you. You know, they're going to reconnect right back in. Hopefully, it allows them to get this blink. It feels like hopefully they can get this blink dagger out. Otherwise, they're at a pretty big disadvantage if this puck is not able to.
Are we going to be doing a channel point refund on this one? What's the status of my channel points?
Are you all in on the cut with your points?
Yeah, it seems a little bit of a fix is in, you know.
Look,
my points.
Much like any betting on anything, that's just how it works sometimes.
All right. Well, tough answer, but I can swallow it.
You're betting on the Lakers playing, and suddenly LeBron gets injured in the first quarter and they lose. It happens.
I'll get my points back. I watch a lot of Beyond the Summit, so it's fine.
Bet against some Sad Boys games.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna clean up next week for sure.
Charging in once again. They're looking for action here. No blink dagger and puck still, so clearly they're aware of it. They're just unable to move it out of the backpack, unfortunately.
Radiant's
Ag shard on Mars. I didn't realize this was a third item for people.
Okay.
The flame
fire trail, yeah.
Really bad against Next Assassin.
He's gonna get an arena out. He's kind of on his own here against the enemy base, and now he's got tier 3 towers to deal with. Echo King is not taking enough to deal with that. Gets slowed by the Echo Saber, and daylight for him.
Dire's top tower
Is that ball now? Black and yellow are just going from pick-off to pick-off, it feels like. Puck gets a drink call just on the Next Assassin. Score looks like has got double damage here, but a nice crunch for Envy catches up two in the backlines. Gets the first thing is he wants the puck next, but there's hesitation. See with the BKB, he's holding onto that one for now. He's going to try and walk the hell out of there. Try and kite this troll wall. He has his AD Solar Crest that he's trying to play around, but Tiny comboed the puck on the backlines here, so bad news. We're just down to 2v5 now as Envy is in forward with time dilation. They're kiting this troll. They just constantly get stunned up, and without a BKB, it feels like there's not a whole lot this troll can do, even with the SLY. This is not enough as he gets comboed down. Now Paul is alone, 1 versus 5. They GG out. They just can't do it. 20 minutes in the frustration, having to play a 4v5 game. It looked like a 1 game for them.
Hello, darkness. My
10 becomes 0-11.
Somebody get Dire some copium right now.
Oh boy.
Oh man, I thought this was going to be their first dub, but it appears the gods have decided otherwise.